Lisa from Lisa Augustine Glazier Coaching here with you and your host here on the EnergieGal Podcast, where storyteller and listener gather to share, laugh, cry, feel, heal, and transform. Oh, we're real, raw, and uncensored. Sometimes we may be a little too much, but we don't care. We're sucking the marrow out of the bone of this life and remaining unapologetic. Authenticity and vulnerability, they're huge surfboards on the ocean of life. So grab yours because we are riding the wave. And let me tell you, we are so jazzed to have you join us. So today is February 4th, 2022, and we are on episode 2. Our guest in the house today, well, she is my person. She is my bestie. She is an inspiration and a huge motivator. She never settles for less than the best for herself and everyone around her. She is an INTJ. She is an 8 on the Enneagram. She is among the most intelligent souls I've ever met and can handle my intensity and messiness. So it's a match made in heaven. Let me introduce you to Rose Carr. Hey, Bestie. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I had Stephen for my first episode, kind of get my feet wet. I thought, who would I have for my second? Well, obviously, my bestie. So I'm so thankful to have you join me today as we unpack a little bit of a story. Now, y'all need to know that Rose and I are very, very similar in a lot of ways. What would you say, Rose, are ways that we are similar?
Oh, we are deeply curious.
Yep.
Both of us. Just
very, inquisitive. Yep.
I think that's where we mesh the most.
Mm-hmm. And we're not afraid to think about things that maybe we wouldn't even agree with. I'm like, I'll keep it on the table. I just want to talk about it more and think about it more. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we both really enjoy physical activity.
Very much so.
Mm-hmm. I think
a driving force for both of us.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of Mars in that chart. That's for sure. I think that we're both introverts.
Yes.
I think that when we are among people, the battery goes down just a little bit. And when we're on our own, the battery goes up a little bit.
Yes.
Which I find is incredible because you and I can literally spend hours and hours and hours together, and we have.
Mm-hmm.
And the battery doesn't go down.
It does not. And we tested that. I mean, okay, let me tell you all, this woman is amazing because this summer, in the end of August, I wanted to go to Kansas to get a dog for my husband because he's always wanted a Belgian Malinois or a German Shepherd. And I found a puppy in Kansas. It was a 15-hour drive one way. And of course, you know, I can't drive 15 hours and pick up a puppy by myself and have it be an easy experience. So I asked Lisa to come with me. And wouldn't you know, she was all for it. This is how
all the way to Kansas? Sure, why not?
We drove 15 hours to Kansas, got there at about 6 o'clock.
In time for dinner.
Mm-hmm. In time for dinner. And my aunt and uncle were fantastic.
Oh, gracious hosts.
Gave us a place, fed us well. Oh my gosh. And then at 6:15 the next morning, we went and picked up the puppy and then we were on our way home. So it was pretty much an out and back really fast. And then a week later, we drove to Wisconsin.
Then we drive to Wisconsin for a half marathon.
For a marathon. Yeah.
Oh, was it a full marathon?
That was a full. Yeah.
Oh my God. They all blend. Yep. How many marathons have you done altogether, Rose?
42.
So you've done 42 in how many states?
24 different states.
24 different states.
Yes.
Well, that's one way that we're
in every state.
Right. You got to go with me to the Hawaii one. We got to bring our dudes and
oh gosh, yes.
Go have fun with that.
Oh gosh, yes.
Absolutely. Would you say that between the two of us, you or I enjoy the gym more?
Oh, that's a hard question.
Oh, I think you enjoy the gym better.
Ooh.
I think you're better at lifting weights.
But you kill it in the gym too, though.
I'm kind of a badass in the gym.
I think that's a toss-up.
Yeah. Yeah, we are similar that way.
Mm-hmm.
Let's talk about some of the most crazy races that we've had. All right, let's talk about our first 50 miler. That will always hold a special place in my heart.
Oh, yeah.
Talk about the last mile, Rose.
Okay, well, hold on. First of all, we've got to preface this.
Okay.
We ran the Erie Marathon 6 days before our first 50 miler. How crazy is that? I mean, we're nuts.
What were we thinking? I don't know.
Well, I mean, we had already signed up for Erie, and then this 50 miler just kind of fell into our lap.
Right.
Why the fuck not?
You know, that's the way we do it. That's the way we roll.
That's what we do. So we ran the Erie Marathon 6 days before our first 50 miler. And then we ran the Chautauqua Ultras with Tom Somerville, the best damn race director ever.
He is.
And oh my gosh, it was hard. Neither one of us had completely recovered from Erie. And
we'd never run that kind of distance before. I don't even know if we knew what it is that we were going to be not up against, but experiencing, what we were going to be going through.
I think at that point, both of us had done a 50K, but nothing over 31 miles. So, I mean, to jump from 31 miles to 50 miles, that's just insane.
Yeah.
And then to do a marathon 6 days before. Yeah.
Yeah.
So anyways, Lisa and I were running. The last 10 miles were rough.
Ooh, well, we had that storm come in.
We had a big storm come in, and anybody who knows me knows that I am
no bueno on the storm.
Terrified of tornadoes. And thankfully, my husband did not tell me that there were some tornado watches happening at the time. But so we're in the last loop. Now, each loop is 5 miles. So you do 10 loops. We're in the last loop.
And I think we stayed together the whole race on that one, didn't we?
We did. Yeah, we did. And we're running in, and we've got 1 more mile to go. And I looked at Lisa, and she looked at me at the same time, like, we're running this mile. And I swear to you, we were running so fast. We were running so flying. Fast. I'm like, oh my God, how are we able to pull this out of our butts?
She says, grab my hand. So I grab her hand, and she looks at me and she says, how are we doing this? I said, I don't know. It's like we're flying.
I swear to you, we were doing a 9-minute mile. That's what it felt like. I swear to you, we were doing a 9-minute mile. But then I checked the next day, and it was more like a 12-minute mile.
Yeah. It's all relative. Oh my goodness. But we did it. We did it.
We did it. And we did it more than once.
We did it more than once. Well, I mean, it's not the most we've ever run before.
No, it's not. Let's talk about that one.
We had this idea. And by we, I mean she had this idea to run
100 miles.
100 miles.
100 miles.
And you gave it a couple of tries, didn't you, Rose?
I did. Yeah. I tried the Beast of Burden in Lockport a couple of times. Boy, what a bitch of a race that is.
Just mean.
I needed something that was a little bit more forgiving in the time limit.
Needed some grace there.
Yeah, the Beast of Burden only gives you 30 hours, and I needed something with a little bit more grace.
And isn't it a 25-mile loop too? 12 out? It's 12 and a half out?
Yes. Yeah, 12 and a half out, 12 and a half back. And you do that.
The weather.
Oh, I tried the summer
Brutal.
one. I tried the summer one, which is held in August, and I did not do well. I don't do well in the heat. I don't know what I was thinking, but I got 50 miles in, and I ended up dropping out because I got sick to my stomach. I had really bad stomach cramps. I couldn't even stand up straight. And one of the EMTs there said, I recommend that you not go back out again. So I stopped at 50 miles on that one. And then I'm like, well, if I can't do the summer one, then I'll try the winter one. And I tried the winter one, and that was a little better. I got 75 in.
I remember you called me and you were like, Reese,
it's not going to happen.
And I knew that in about 3 weeks that we were going to be leaving for Conquer the Wall. And me and my feeler, I'm like, well, we've got this. I know that she can do 100 miles there. I know it.
Yep. So I found this race out in West Virginia, in Williamson, West Virginia, called Conquer the Wall Endurance Challenge. It's a 47-hour race. And I'm like, come do it with me. I feel like we need to do this. So I went there with the goal of doing 100 miles. But Lisa, I think I was going to be supporting on doing like 50 to 100K.
Yeah, 50 to 100K. I figure somewhere between 50 and 60 miles, 61 miles, 62 miles. I was like, that's good. I'll be good with that.
And then the next thing you know, she just kicked it into gear and she's doing 100.
Third day was a charm for me. I remember you finished. What time did you finish on Sunday?
Oh, goodness. I want to say it was like around noon or 1. It was early in the afternoon.
It was. And I remember at that point, I was at like 82, maybe 83. And I remember saying to you, would you wait?
Oh, heck yeah.
Well, while I finish up, because I'm this close, I feel like I've got it. And you're like, you have to ask, of course, so I unwrapped another Tootsie Roll and did another loop and we did it 100 miles.
We did.
And then went all the way back to the hotel where the woman is like taking us all over God's country.
Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
That's a story. That's
my goodness. We have had some adventures.
We ended up getting a free night stay that night because of that. So that was worth it.
That was an interesting
Lisa
situation.
Ended up lying down in the hallway.
I was like, I can't move. When we found out that the hotel that she had sent, the room that she sent us to as an upgrade or something, I don't know. She was like, we've got something even better for you. I was like, okay. She goes, it's up on the 2nd or 3rd floor. I wasn't sure. I was like, okay. But then when we got there, we realized there was one bed. And as much as we love spooning each other, there's not an issue there. Okay. If the opportunity to have 2 beds is available, we'll take that, Right. Sometimes we go to races where there are 4 or 5 people in a room. And so I laid right on the ground. I was like, no, I cannot do this. Go down and find where the room is. I'm not going all the way down and all the way back. So, oh my goodness sakes.
That was such a great trip.
It really was. It really was. I'm excited about the one that's coming up.
Yep.
I think we're both going to try to see what happens.
We'll see what happens. I mean, my goal is 100, but we'll see. I'll be honest with you. Distance has not been my thing this year. I've not really been putting in the miles. So we'll see what happens.
Well, you've been busy.
I have been. Yeah.
Been busy doing what?
Busy losing weight.
Yeah.
A lot of weight.
I was going to say, I think that's, if we were going to hit on a story, I would be interested in you sharing a little bit of what feels right to you with our listeners. I think everybody has something that they wanted for years and years and didn't seem that they, for whatever reason, it just seemed unattainable, like it was without reach. They just couldn't get. And then something happened. And so unpack a little bit.
Well, I have struggled with my weight ever since my pregnancy with my firstborn, who is now 21. And my relationship with food was the culprit. I mean, I working out.
That's not
an issue for me. And it's unusual for me to work out less than an hour a day. I mean, sometimes it's 2 or 3 hours a day.
Easy.
I get a little crazy with it sometimes because the gym is my happy place. I love lifting. I love running. I love working up a sweat. I love, kicking those endorphins in. And
well, I think your Mars sits right next to your son. So you're going to have a lot of action. And it's related to a lot of how you identify with yourself. So.
Right. So it really wasn't the exercising that was my issue. My issue is my eating habits. Very, very, very destructive cycle of just really poor eating. To be honest with you, when I look back on it, I'm amazed that I was able to do some of the things that I've been able to do while not properly fueling my body. So packed on quite a few pounds after my first pregnancy. I lost some. I was well over 200 pounds at one point. I lost quite a bit of weight.
I know that was hard for you to see. Remember how you stepped on the scale?
Yeah.
You thought that was...
gosh, yes. I stepped on the scale and I did not know that I was over 200 pounds. And then I stepped on the scale and I'm like over 200 pounds. And I'm thinking, oh gosh, this is not good. And then my aunt gave me a treadmill, and that's when my running journey started. I started running on the treadmill. The first year that I ran, I did all of my running on the treadmill. And then my friend Pam, she got me involved in running outside, and I signed up for my first race, which was a half marathon, the Niagara Falls International Half Marathon, in October of 2010. So that was the beginning of my running journey, and I lost quite a bit of weight. Like I said, I think Hayden was my youngest, was 3 at the time when I started to drop some weight, and I got down quite a bit. I lost probably about 40 or 50 pounds. And, but I wouldn't say that I did it in a very healthy way. I cut my carbs I cut everything. I cut my calories way too much. I was probably eating less than 1,000 calories a day and working out quite a bit. So it was not healthy. And I gained back some weight.
It wasn't something that was going to be able to be a lifestyle.
Not sustainable. No. So I lost some weight, and then I gained some back and started running. And the running was really good for me. To be honest with you, running is really the only thing that kind of kept me from blowing back up again, because the way I was eating, I probably should have weighed a lot more than I really did. And then it just reached the point where I think, especially with talking with you, you kind of got me started on this, talking with you and kind of getting into the mental issues behind my eating choices.
Yeah. If you started putting the weight on again, it was because it's symptom of something that's going on inside.
Yep. And I basically used food as sort of like a drug in a way. It kind of soothed me whenever I was stressed out, which honestly was like every day. Anytime I felt stressed, anytime I felt sad, I struggle with depression. Anytime I felt sad, even if I was happy and excited, I used food as a way to soothe and to celebrate. And a lot of junk, just a lot of my go-to lunch was a sleeve of Ritz crackers and a Coke, because it was easy to pack and it tasted good.
Yeah.
So I did that for 2 decades, pretty much. And then in October, this last October 2021, I don't know exactly what the catalyst was, but I just got tired of it.
I think sometimes we're just ready, maybe.
I think so too. I got tired of the self-abuse, because that's really what it was, just self-abuse and the cyclical aspect of it. I would eat crap and then I'd feel like crap, and then I'd eat more crap because I felt like crap. And then I'm like, well, I've gone this far. I might as well just finish off whatever it is I'm eating, a bag of chips, a candy bar, whatever. And
do you think that
that
there was a part of you that was aware of the cycle that you were kind of lost
very
in?
much so. I think so, but I never really dipped into the why. Like, I understood the cycle. I understood that I was the way I was because of choices that I was making. I totally got that. It was just a lack of understanding of how to deal with my stress and my depression in a more constructive way rather than a destructive way, if that makes sense.
It does.
And I needed something to kind of get me, I needed something to get me on the right track, and I found something that got me on the right track. And I mean, I started seeing results right away. Right. I mean, I think that was my saving grace, honestly. If I hadn't seen something happen right away, then I probably would have given up. But I saw results right away. And
well, what was it, because it was such a radical change in what you were used to doing that you saw results right away? Or and by results, may I ask, do you mean physical results, or could you tell results even on the inside and even the way that you were thinking?
Everything. My
So it
mindset completely changed.
It was holistic results.
Yeah. And getting good sleep, because I'm not filling my body with junk food before bed. Just being able to sleep soundly. And then I get up in the morning and like, oh God, I actually feel good. Not gross. I know that's a weird word to use, but I felt gross all the time because I was filling my body with such junk. So,
and in this space, were you then able to start to identify and hold space for things that were marinating in the heart that needed to give a message? And then there was some hope, and it wasn't, I know that you're not a real deep feels person, in that you don't like, that's not your go-to to go down into the feels. You like to keep it up into the thinking. And so going down into the feels, because you do everything with such an intensity, that I think that can feel a little overwhelming.
It was very overwhelming.
Feeling physically better and feeling mentally a little bit more acute, did that help you say, okay, I'm going to dip into the feels?
It sure did. It sure did. And I did a lot of writing.
Well, I'm a big journal person. I'm all about it.
My journal saved me. Yeah, that really prompted me to take a really hard look at myself. And that's hard to do when you don't like what you see.
Yeah. Well, owning your story so that you can then re-narrate things is important. You've got to, like I always say to people, you need to know where you are now. You might know where you want to get to, but if you don't know on the map where you are now, you're still not going to be able to get to where you want to go.
You have to address it. You have to confront it, really.
Oh, yeah.
And you got to call yourself on your own bullshit too. And that can be really hard for people to do. I'm really good at calling other people out on their bullshit, but not so great at calling out myself and my own bullshit. Well, and it ended up getting to the point where it's like, I can't ignore this anymore, because I want to live to be 120. I want to be the oldest woman in the world to run a marathon. I want to be the oldest woman in the world to run a 100-miler. How am I going to do that if I'm eating junk all the time and I have high blood pressure issues and stuff like that? How am I going to do that?
Right.
It goes against everything that I want in my life.
Right.
So.
Right. Yeah, I think one thing that, among the many reasons I love hanging out with you, is that I know that if I'm speaking what I believe is the truth to you, you are never offended by that. You know, you're very open to, if I were to say something like, well, what do you think about this? Or, what about that? I don't mean to hurt your feelings, but did you ever think about that? You always, I have never had you spew back at me, how dare you? You just haven't reacted. You've always been very thankful of me asking questions and helping you maybe see something a little bit differently. It's just a very easy relationship for me. I don't have to it's not like walking on glass or eggshells. It is easy. And I think that you have taught me, because I am not someone who's always been that way, that you could just say something, because I am such a deep feels person as an INFJ that, sometimes you calling me out on my bullshit would cause me to sink right into myself. But you'd just kind of wait there. She's going to come out one of these days and you'd be right there. So it's been a relationship that has really not only been fun, but it's been really helpful for my soul growth. I mean, we both think that we may have known each other in previous lives, for heaven's sakes.
Gosh, yeah.
I mean, when we first met each other, it was like, how can we be
right off?
Yeah. I mean, this well, and I don't get along that well with people.
Like
People are a pain in the ass. No.
You and I are the same way in that way. We don't usually let people in like that, but it was really easy to let you in. And that's what I love about you too, Lisa, is that I can always count on you to tell me like it is. Mm-hmm. And that's not common. It's not common enough. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Don't lie to me. I'd rather you be in my face about it,
And I don't even have to like go around this angle and then maybe I catch this angle. She just
give it to me.
Draw it back and hit me right in the bullseye.
You got it.
Flower it for the love of God, know? So yeah, I definitely hear you on that. So if you were to say that there was a particular life lesson that you believe that you have come to learn and that you've maybe already got, check that off, what would it be so far?
I guess it would be to not be afraid to ask yourself the tough questions and to take a deep look at yourself. I think that's probably the biggest thing that I've learned, especially recently. You can't hide from it. You can't hide from what's there. You have to address it. And the longer you wait, the harder it is to address it, I think. I mean, I waited for years.
So you can somehow hide for a while, but there's consequences to that.
Absolutely. It's harder to dig it out. The more you bury it, it's harder to dig it out. And
then it gets entwined with the roots of all sorts of other things.
Right. And it festers and it stinks when you pull it up, it stinks. But
well, I think that's why it's really important to gather around you people who will be like, oh God, that's stinky. Right. Let me get a paper towel and help you out with that. You know what I mean? They're not going to be offended, you know, and if anything, it'll be inspiring and motivating to them to do a little, self-searching as well.
Yes. And I really think that you need people to help you with that too. That is it's not possible. I honestly think it's not possible to do that alone.
Yeah.
I really think you need your tribe to help you through those things.
Yeah.
I don't think I could have accomplished what I've accomplished in a very short amount of time.
Amount of time.
November 1st, and I'm so close to where I was in college as far as size is concerned. Which is just blows my mind because I've wanted this for so long and always thought it was so unattainable. And then here I am. I'm here. I'm doing it. So you got to have your tribe with you, because if you don't have your tribe with you, then it's just so hard to do it alone. Well, I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible to do it alone, but God, you need that support.
Yeah. It's funny. You said that you wanted this, but for so long you thought that it was unattainable. Like it wasn't something that you could have, that you could ever be able to have. If you would be talking to someone now who's saying, well, I get that, there's something that I'd really like, and it probably will never happen, what would you say?
How do you know if you don't try?
Right. Cool.
How do you know? Like, why would you shut the door on those possibilities? And then you got to take a look at, like, okay, what are you really doing? Are you really doing what you need to do to get there? Because the answer is probably no. If you're not there, then you're not really doing what you need to do to get there. And I'd say, don't be afraid to have that conversation with yourself. Don't be afraid to set those goals for yourself. don't put those limitations on yourself. The world puts enough limitations on us as it is. We don't need to be doing that ourselves.
Hang out with people, I think, who would remind you of who you really are.
That's right.
Who won't reinforce, right? Won't reinforce the smallness. What is it, Marianne Williamson, who says that you don't benefit the world by playing small?
Yes.
You know what I mean? So,
and both of us, of God, shine on, girl.
Shine on. And as Leo moons, you and I together, Leo moons, we're shiners.
We're shiners.
Can't help it. Sorry, not sorry. We're shining. Which segues into the next part. Another way that we're both similar is that we both love to read.
We do. What are you reading right now?
I just started one on the Kindle, and it's quite interesting. It's called Weird Sisters.
Okay.
It kind of snagged me right away. I mean, I love the word weird and sisters. I'm like, I'll bite. And then I'm also about halfway through Brene Brown's Atlas of the Heart. And then
I've also started. Yep.
I like it. And I'm not learning anything brand new. This one, I've read all of her books, and this one just expounds upon the research, which I love. I've got feels, but I got a lot of think too. And so I like knowing she picks apart words like guilt and shame and how they're different. And if you follow them down, the roots are in different places. And she does the same thing with like disappointment and, other things. I just love to know the pathology behind. And then the other one I'm reading is Wayne Dyer's The Power of Intention. Kick-ass book. Love it. And how about you? What are you reading, hon?
I got to look up the title. Hold on. Do I have my Kindle up here with me? It's called Pain.
Oh, yeah, the one that you wanted me to read.
No, it's called Hurts So Good.
I couldn't get it downloaded onto the Kindle, so I'll have to try it.
I'll have to check that out. Okay. It's called Hurts So Good, and I have to look it up because I can't remember the name of the author.
Okay.
The subtitle is The Science and Culture of Pain on Purpose. And it's written by Lee Cowart. Cowart.
And what's the premise?
So the premise is basically just looking at the science behind why people intentionally cause themselves pain, like ultra running,
like lifting heavy at the gym,
to the point where
like not eating licorice when,
yeah.
That's interesting.
I'm not very far in it. I'm only about 15% in it, but I find it absolutely fascinating because, let's face it, I'm pretty addicted to pain.
Yeah, I was going to say it helps you. It helps you.
So good.
Reading the book kind of helps you explain yourself.
Yes.
Why am I this way? That's what I loved about astrology when I found out where my Mars is, where I found out where your Mars is, and things. People and all the different other planets and the energies that they were born into and then hold and experience. I was like, oh, that makes sense to me. Now I get why. It was very not say forgiving, explaining. It unpacked for me. It painted a picture where I was like, okay, all right. I just love to know why,
Yeah.
So,
well, you will like this book then, because she really digs deep into the science of it. And I got all these piercings. I've got all these tattoos. I'm so tatted up. I'm running out of real estate. And, people ask me, what are you going to do when you run out of skin? Well, that's what touch-ups are for. I get my ink therapy.
You really
every
like
month.
that. Oh, we should share with them that we have an identical tattoo.
We do have an identical
that you created.
Yes.
Yes, you did. A tree on one side, a feather on the other, birds, and then soul sisters.
SOLE sisters.
Yeah, because we are running sisters. And I remember thinking, I had said one time, the Bible says that we can live to at least 120 years. So I'm claiming it. And you said, well, you better claim more than that, because I want to live to 120. So I guess I'm at 131 and some.
Right.
I think I'm like 11 and a half years older than you. Got to keep me in shape then, girl.
Right. That's right.
Favorite color was?
My favorite color?
Well, no, go back to what we were going to say.
Oh, okay. Another thing too, like I always think to myself, Elisa, she can't get rid of me because I'm tatted on her body now.
That's right.
So
oh God, hon. I don't know how I could not find anybody who put up with me as much. Believe me, you're stuck like Velcro to me. Favorite color?
Royal purple, because I'm a queen.
Mm-hmm. Favorite meal?
Pizza.
What about turkey dinner? What about mom's turkey dinner?
Oh my gosh, Thanksgiving. Oh God, Thanksgiving is my favorite holiday.
Now we have a race tomorrow. Are you going to eat pizza tonight or no?
I'm not. I had Tim Hortons this morning. Mm-hmm. That was my celebration meal. So okay. I'm all set for tomorrow.
Okay. So favorite song, Bestie?
Oh gosh, you can't ask me that. That's like asking my favorite book.
I get it. I completely understand.
But it's probably going to be by Pink Floyd.
Mm-hmm. That's another thing. We both love The Wall. Pink Floyd's our favorite. I don't know if you've got one because you're not a big TV person. Favorite movie?
Probably Stranger Than Fiction, starring Will Ferrell. I love that movie.
So good.
Is so clever and it's funny and it's kind of a romance / comedy or some rom-com, and I just like it. Plus, I'm a big fan of Emma Thompson too. So and Will Ferrell. So
favorite book? I know I'm just a bitch today, aren't I?
Can't do it. I can't do it.
Among your favorite, what would you, or a series or an author? I mean, I know you love Mary Oliver.
I love my favorite poets are probably Mary Oliver and Robert Frost. Both of them are big into nature writing, and I'm a nature freak. I love nature so much. I love being outside, hiking, looking at things, being on the water. Rural living.
Your favorite smell?
Oh my, I don't know. Probably cut grass.
Oh, I love that.
I love the smell of cut grass.
Your favorite texture?
A soft blanket. There is nothing like a nice soft blanket. We just ran a half marathon in Syracuse with our running buddy Steve Seck, and one of these bits of swag that we got for this race was a really super soft blanket, and I loved it.
Oh, me too. I have it right tucked under my bed. So if I get cold in the middle of the night because husband has taken all the covers, whoosh, I have that. Coffee or tea?
Tea. Definitely tea. I'm a big tea. I don't even really like the taste of coffee. I don't mind the smell of it. Smell of coffee is good, but tea for sure.
When was the last time you danced?
I dance in the shower all the time.
Nice.
And sometimes when I get out of the shower.
Nice. Maybe I'll get you dancing more this summer.
If I'm going to dance in public, though, I'm going to need a few drinks.
I would say when was the last time you sang, but it was probably 2 minutes before we got
yes.
on here.
Exactly. I'm always singing.
Oh my goodness. One of my questions is, when was the last time you felt like $1 million? And I have a feeling what the answer would be. What do you think?
Probably when I woke up this morning.
I was going to say right here now.
I felt really good this morning. I mean, I still feel good. I'm on a roll, girl. I'm feeling freaking fantastic.
You know what I love, I just really enjoy about you though, and it's the same with Steven, so maybe it's a Saggy thing, is that you guys don't stay down for too long.
No.
Give you an hour, maybe half the day on the outside, and that glass is half full again, and let's go at it. Well,
Absolutely.
it was just, that's a good energy for me to be around. I'm very attracted to that. That's easy. So, awesome. I'll ask you this question. We'll see what the answer is. When was the last time that you looked at another person deeply in their eyes?
Oh, that was with you.
Mm-hmm. I knew you were going to
Just
say
a few
that.
days ago.
Yeah. And it was very helpful.
Yeah.
It was very, very cool. Have you ever had to forgive somebody?
Yes. Fairly recently too.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Have you ever been brokenhearted?
Oh God, yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. So much of the human experience.
Mm-hmm.
Favorite holiday?
Thanksgiving.
Mm-hmm. Favorite cookie?
Not just for the food either, because I love being around my family. I have the best family in the entire world. I really do. I struck gold with my parents. My parents are fantastic.
You got great parents.
Oh my God, my parents are so great. So let me tell you a little bit, everybody else a little bit about my parents. So my parents were teen parents. My mother got pregnant with me when she was 17. And my parents were really young. They had a shotgun wedding. I believe my mom was 6 months along with me when they got married. And they just celebrated their 45th wedding anniversary this last September.
You know, they could just keep some of that PDA down.
Oh gosh. Oh yeah.
Talk about PDA, two people.
They're still wildly passionately in love with each other.
Hugely.
They have always been a huge support of mine. Whenever I need anything, my parents are there for me. Yeah. They didn't have anything when they started either. They, like I said, mom was pregnant with me at 17. They had my sister 2 years later, so mom wasn't even 20. They've got 2 kids. I know my mother worked nights at the hospital in the maternity ward. My dad worked during the days, any job he could get, and they worked their way up from the bottom straight up to the top. They are incredibly hard workers. Fantastic role models when it comes to, know what you want and go out and get it and work your butt off for it. And they're just amazing. My siblings are amazing. I have a fantastic family. Very supportive, always have been really awesome. So that's why I like Thanksgiving.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I get to see my family and be around with my family.
So I'll have to have you on again because I absolutely adore talking with you, and you have so much to share with people about so many things. So I thank you. I thank you so much for sharing your heart when it came to your running and your weight loss journey, and you're kind of coming back to remembering who you are at the core of yourself, and wading through all of the shit to get to the truth of who you are, and then moving through with such grace and such dignity and such tenacity. I mean, you were like a dog with a bone. Once you knew this is what's going to help me, oh hell yeah. And you were all in.
Bring it.
You just it needed to be the right time with the right circumstance and program, and you found it. Thank you, Lord.
I think I just needed to hit rock bottom, honestly, before I could start digging myself up in it. And that happened this September or October, I should say.
Yeah. It's funny. I started a blog the other day that said that you were the worst thing that happened and the best thing that ever happened to me. So, rock bottom, it was just one of the worst things ever. That was a tough space, girl. You were in rough energies.
Yes,
did a lot of praying for you.
Yes, I was.
It was what propelled you to an amazing space right now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm loving life right now. It's damn good over here.
Yeah, so good. So what's next, girl? What's next?
Oh, well, keep running, keep racing, keep killing it at the gym. And just like you said when we started, sucking the marrow out of life and just enjoying as much as I can get. Stop wasting time wishing for things. Go out and get them. Done wishing for things. I'm going to go out and get them for me. So.
Wow. Beautiful. Thank you so much, Rose.
Thank you.
This was
fun.
It was a lot of fun.
I'm not going to lie. I was a little nervous.
What's she having me do now? Hey, but for all the times I've gone along with your harebrained ideas, it's only fair.
Exactly.
Oh God, I think I owe her. All right.
No, not quite yet.
This is our story for today, guys. Thank you so much for joining us. It has been an honor, dear listener. Remember, you also have a story to share, for we are all both teller and listener. Something magical happens, alchemizing, when we open our hearts to listen, when others open their mouths to storytell. It's like this mystical bond that connects us all into community through this ancient holy practice of sharing. Somehow we become knit together, or maybe we just wake up and remember that we already are all one and we are loved. So till next time, laugh loudly, love deeply, hug daily, because life is meant to be experienced fully. And I'll end by saying that if you want to know any more about me, my coaching offerings, or my book journals, you can find me at lisaaugustineglazier.online, where I offer spiritual guidance for higher vibrational living, as well as a daily blog and sell 30-day journals that bring awareness and healing to your body, your mind, your heart, and raise your vibration, because everything is energy. And if there's someone you would like me to welcome into the house as a guest to tell their story, dear listener, please make me aware of this. Contact me. And finally, thank you again for your presence and participation here at EnergieGal Podcast, where storyteller and listener meet for transformational conversations. And might I end with this? Well, why don't you say it with me, Rose? The Marie Oliver quote, or Mary... Is it Mary Oliver quote?
Mary Oliver, the one, what are you going to do?
Yeah. What will you
do
with your one wild and precious life?
You got
Let's talk about it. Awesome. Thank you so much, dear. All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
Bye.
Bye.